good evening and welcome to the English Premier League and Bermudian Overseas Footballers Roundup. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is none other than Juggling Jay, co-host, as well as co-host Antoine Augustus. Gentlemen, we now know the draw for the English FA Cup, which was this weekend. The quarterfinals will take place at the end of March. Let me just quickly run down the results from this weekend, and then I'll give you the quarterfinal draw. It was Aston Villa 2, Cardiff 0, Crystal Palace 3, Millwall 1, Preston 3, Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Bournemouth won 5-4 on kicks from the penalty mark. Manchester City 3, Plymouth 1, Newcastle 1, Brighton Hove Albion 2, Manchester United 1, Fulham 1, and Fulham would win 4-3 on kicks from the penalty mark. And about half hour ago, it ended with Nottingham Forest 1, Ipswich Town 1. Forest would win 5-4 on kicks from the penalty mark. And the quarterfinal draw is as such: Preston will face Aston Villa, Fulham will face Crystal Palace, Bournemouth will face Manchester City, and Brighton Hove Albion will face Nottingham Forest. Well, gentlemen, was some very interesting games this week, and of course, a lot of drama taking place as well. You look at, obviously, Plymouth going in feeling good about themselves because they actually knocked Liverpool out of the tournament. Juggler, knowing what, obviously, Manchester City seeing that Liverpool were knocked out by Plymouth, they weren't going to take any chances with them, you thought?
Well, going in, that's what you hope. But didn't Plymouth score first?
Yeah, Plymouth scored first. Yeah. The City was like, what, a minute later? 2 minutes later?
Yeah. But for that 1 minute.
Yeah. Get the lead, run off the field, innit?
Man, they thought they had won the
game. reminded you when Bermuda took that wicket, the first wicket off.
Yeah. That was it. We won the World Cup, man.
We're still trying to get 9.
Hold on, I can't remember what the score was in that thing because all I remember is Slugger making the catch and and Malachi running around and crying. I didn't even know what the score was. I didn't even care what the score was.
Turned off everything after that. We won it.
But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of FA Cup, right?
Yeah.
And that's been taught for years, right? Is that on the day, and we always say that the game is played on the field on the day.
Yes.
And if City did not come with that A game, they would have got beaten just like Liverpool got beaten and they got beaten, right? Liverpool so you know what, we're gonna play all our youngsters and we're gonna eat through. On the day, the youngsters weren't up to par.
That's right.
So one thing I can say, City did not. They said, well, they have to bring your captain the team.
Yeah.
So that just showed you themselves. They was not taking them for granted at all.
Yeah, well, I guess, and Antoine, you can jump in. I guess City would have been looking at it as if they know they can't win the league. The only chance of silverware right now is the FA and the Champions League. So actually, they're out of the Champions League.
Out of the Champions League, baby. They had a rough week.
Yeah, so they had a rough week last week. Yeah. So they have to play as if every game right now is the FA Cup final for them.
Yeah, like you said, City must have remembered Liverpool because they had Kevin De Bruyne, they had Jack Greenwood, and they had Foden out there. So and Silva, they didn't really. They came out with the minus B team. So but like I said, I saw it. I watched that game, and like you said, Plymouth, you thought they would have won the FA Cup when they scored that first goal in 38 minutes because it was an uproar. I guess I think they probably had a bet. Whoever scores a goal at the local pub gets a life of alcohol.
Well, well, I mean, you remember they're bottom of their division.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
a new manager, got some new players in, but they're still struggling at the bottom of that table. But having beaten Liverpool, confidence will be through the roof with them. They go into a game talking about, okay, we can take another big scout, or if we score against another big scout, we probably are better than what our position is. And at the end of the day, Juggler, you know that like the FA Cup could actually spur you on to do so many tremendous things.
I mean, just look at the Burnley and the Burnley game, right?
Yeah, Preston and
Like,
Burnley.
yeah, Preston's way down to 15th. Burnley's like third, right?
Yeah,
So going in, you automatically think of Burnley. Hey, they should get through.
yeah, yes.
Oh, that weren't that easy now, was it?
Not at all. Not if you're losing 3-0.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's comprehensive. Yeah, but that's the once again, that's the beauty of and to some teams. I remember years ago, and Antoine, as a United fan, like okay, FA Cup, just the FA Cup. That's nothing that I'm really concerned about, man.
yeah.
No,
And believe it or not, back then, and even now, the smaller club wants to be drawn against a big club and
yeah,
play a ground.
Yep.
So
that
there's
money that comes, that money that comes in, what? That money that comes in, that small ground is, and not just the ground. You're talking the pubs and everything that's around there,
everything is around it. Yeah,
hotels and
yeah,
you name it, right?
yeah.
Yep. And the thing about, like you said, is some players never got a chance to even touch the grass of Manchester United or of
If you
Liverpool.
if you're not Antoine, you're right, because if you're not playing on the day, you cannot touch the grass. It's
Yeah,
signs and everything at there. You cannot. There's rope. There's red
yeah,
rope.
Yeah. They don't when they warm up, they don't even use the girls. See that? They pop up girls and then they go to the
Yep,
goal.
yep. And it's way off to the side too. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
yeah,
But yeah,
definitely. One of the interesting matches was the Bournemouth Wolves game. Those two teams played the week before with Wolves winning.
Yeah.
And this time around it went 120 minutes and then went to the kick from the penalty mark. But the big talking point was the sending off of Kuna in the 120th minute of the game, where he was called for offside, and then all of a sudden he's on the floor, kicking out, gets up, headbutts somebody, and then asks the ref, "Why are you sending me off?" It was unbelievable because he's been scoring goals from him. We remember a few weeks ago he was involved in an incident where he ripped the glasses off of one of the opposing team's coaches. And got a 3-match ban, which was reduced to 2 matches because he offered to buy the gentleman his glasses and apologized and so forth. But it don't look like he's going to get a reprieve for this one. It's going to look like he's going to get a lengthy ban. And unfortunately for Wolves, he's been the one that's been scoring goals for him, and he's been on the market where several teams have been looking to bring him in. But who wants that headache?
Earl, everybody's going to want him because Earl, he is passionate.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what these players say now, that they are passionate, and you cannot that half a second of lapse in judgment. You want a passionate player. He's passionate.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you, how did the passion work out for Drogba? I'm not Drogba. What's the boy name? The tall, dark-skinned fella that played for United. Pogba. How did that passion work out?
Hold on, don't speak too loud because he might be coming back. Don't speak too loud. Shoot. Don't bring that name up. Shoot.
Because he had a lot of passion.
I'm just telling you what the players say nowadays is passion.
Yeah, well, guess
Antoine,
what?
I'm pretty sure you heard it too, Antoine.
Yes, I hear.
Hey, Ref, I'm just passionate about it, Ref. I'm only cussing you out because I'm passionate about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Take
even
this passion and go get an early shower.
and leave
Yeah.
and leave your team short,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I mean, you look at it that he and had scored earlier, so he's guaranteed to take a penalty. Now all of a sudden the coach is looking around saying, okay, who's going to be 5? Who's my gosh, my leader is in the tunnel, and unable to take a penalty because of passion.
AKA stupidity.
Yeah, and it's so funny because they had the opportunity to win the penalty shootout.
Because
because they had the 5th kick. Go ahead, Antoine.
No, I said, like I said, he what's his name, Woman clearly missed the whole goal. I don't know, he was eager. He saw it before, he celebrated before he even kicked the ball, but how you missed the goal completely. Didn't even touch the post and nothing. And yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, this is over. Woman's gonna win this one. Like I said, he missed the ball completely. He missed the goal completely,
Right.
and then that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. And funny and like I was saying, in the penalty shootout, they had the 5th kick leading. All the guy had to do was put it away, and he missed.
You missed.
Yeah. Like you said, the hill girl too. So it weren't meant to be. Let's talk about that Manchester United Fulham game ended 1-1, and then
we didn't have to talk about it.
The game as the cup holders, and well, I mean, hey.
What about the red card?
What's your thoughts, Jugger?
Oh, what? Yeah, that was something worse.
Well, your manager said after the game, the emphasis is winning the league.
Huh?
He wants to win the league. He wants to win the league.
Right. Don't take it out of context, Earl. Don't take it out of context. That's what he was basically saying. Every team, that should be the onus on every team, is to win the league. Whether it's going to happen this year, whether it's going to happen this year, next year, whether it's going to happen if it's even there to win the league. That should be the onus of the team to win the league. So he did clarify that it's not just winning the league this year, because that's
well, no, he didn't say this year.
Yeah, but that's every team. That's every team.
And he did say, but they're a long way off from that.
Yeah. That, I mean, from what you saw the other day, right? And for the most part, it amazes me how for the last 3 years I've been trying to get rid of Harry Maguire. He's probably been one of the best players, consistent players. And for him not to go down injured, Richard, a long list of other guys were injured. But it also gave, to be honest with you, I looked at the game more of excited for the youngsters who were coming through.
Yeah.
Right? With and you got to be excited for them, right? But the Low had a pretty deep. The game, it was a pretty even game, right? Mm-hmm. United had an early part of the first half. They had more possession, whatever. But Fulham came back. That United giving up that's another set piece just before the half, which has been the Achilles heel, and then they came back and a good goal by Fernandez, good goal. But I think the inexperience to some of the youngsters, because Garnacho and Obi had chances, and if it wasn't for the two goalkeepers pulling off save, especially in the late second half, it could have been either way. Right. And especially in extra time, both goalkeepers had to come to the defense of the team. So I just looked at two bad teams. It was just a bad watch, if you ask me.
Mm, mm,
No,
yeah,
it was good to see the young team come out and get a kick. Having the boy from Arsenal, he came out, he performed. So it was a good game. But you have to watch the youngsters, watch them perform. So it should be an interesting season, next season. When he has his core and you know what he is. But what can I
Well,
say? It's gonna be a new champion in the FA Cup. No
well,
more luck.
and that's the thing. I mean, it'd be a new champion in the FA Cup, but going forward, and Aaron, I know this is probably what you're trying to get at. Going forward, what would the coach take from this, right?
yeah,
Because he's got Europa coming up, right? And basically, the FA Cup saved Ten Hag's job last year, as we
yeah,
know, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Realistically, the Europa is basically what they're playing for this year because they're not gonna
yeah,
go down. They're not
yeah.
gonna
They
go. They're
got,
not.
yeah,
They're not gonna go down. But it's to get to 10th place might be a. They got but 10 games left. Still a possibility,
right.
right? But Europa, with all these injuries, I don't even know where you can get the piece. They're trying to piece a backline together,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
But you know
and we
what,
have two
Jay?
strikers. When you look at Hoyland and Zatsky,
yeah.
they've scored one goal between them
Yeah,
in the league after spending 100 million pounds.
yeah,
One goal between them in the league. So
Well,
where you asking? Who you asking to score?
yeah.
uh,
Well, you know what, Jay? I say this could be a blessing in disguise for the organization on the field, not off the field. Because off the field, you want to be in the Champions League, you want to be in all the overseas stuff. But this will be an opportunity for them to just concentrate on domestic football for one season and not have to play those extra games.
But Earl, there's a consequence to that, and I'm pretty sure Antoine, I'm pretty sure you read it, and you because it was big news over the weekend about the financials, right?
Right? Yes, 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 yes. That's what
The
I'm saying.
money,
The
the
off the
money, the
field.
money, all the money that you not being in those competitions
Mm-hmm.
is now resulting to them having
Yeah,
to get rid
200
of
mil,
200
mil. Yeah,
staff.
yeah,
They've
yeah,
having to get rid of free lunches. They got to get rid of it because they're not in those competitions. And
yeah,
you're talking about almost 60 to 80 million dollars.
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
then
But that's what I'm
possibly,
saying. Off the field, it's going to hurt them. But on the field, it's an opportunity for them to just concentrate on X amount of games as opposed to having those extra games to play. So
Yeah,
the coach, where you be playing 2 games, 3 games in 7 days or 8 days, if you put in a Champions League or Europa League game in there, you're not only playing 2 games in those 8 days, and you got your players that you could rest in between, train in
yep.
between, all of that.
So
So, and it's a chance to build your program back up.
so I'll give you devil's advocate to that. I'll let you go right after that. I'll give you devil's advocate to that, right? So what would normally happen, right? The big name players would not come to a team that's not in none of those competitions, right?
Oh yeah, true.
So you're relying on a lot of your young players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? Your young players will get you through the league, get you through, might surprise you being top six, might be getting to in Europa, right?
Right.
The next year, what you do now? Now you go and start searching for those big names, right?
Yeah.
And most times, those players that got you there, what happens with them?
Get kicked out.
Mm. Be careful.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me right now, I don't think Manchester United needs big names. And I don't think we need to start from scratch. And when I say start from scratch, start with our youngsters. Do what we can do with our youngsters. If you want to come to a big name wants to come to Manchester United, this is not right for you. If you want to come to play for Manchester United, you want to come to play for Manchester United, and not to put it on your resume to say that I play for Manchester United or I got a big paycheck from Manchester United. You have to love to play for their club now. They gotta have their genes. They gotta have them. So you're gonna have them type of players that, and they really that love Manchester United. You see what I'm saying? That's what Manchester needs, and that's how Manchester United will get that.
Mm.
And I agree with you because they had a feature this week on the players that are coming through the academy that actually been exceptionally good.
Yes.
But are they ready for top flight?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me what big name that Nottingham Forest is. Tell me what big name
Well,
Aston
put
Villa
it this
is.
way: Chris Wood is banging in girls. He ain't come from the academy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Hudson has been probably the MVP, and he did not come from the academy. Elanga is one of the other top strikers. He did not come from their academy.
What's the big challenge? You see what I'm saying? I'm not 100 mil
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I mean, we're talking about bringing players up through the academy, right? I think Ten Hag will try to take that the way that you're talking, just try to go get some players that he was comfortable with
Mm-hmm.
from Ajax,
Yeah.
right? But they've come over to this league and have done absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we went through that cycle with Van der Beek.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can go through numerous players, and every team goes through this. It's just right now they're going through it, and you look at. I'm more excited to see, or I'm gonna say excited. I'm gonna ask you guys. 10 games to go. 10 games left. When do you think Liverpool's gonna wrap this all up? Because they play. You do know they do play. They have to play Arsenal, and I want to say Arsenal, Chelsea, and I think Brighton. The last 3 games.
Yeah.
I think the league's gonna be wrapped up by then.
Yeah. They would want to wrap it up before they end. Yeah. Yeah. They get over this hurdle because you don't want to underestimate Southampton on this weekend. For them.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, hey, anything's possible.
You said Southampton?
Yeah.
Man, so that's a 6-pack waiting. What are you talking about?
Stranger things have happened, Jay. Stranger things have
Well,
happened.
I put it this way: it'll be closer to a 6-pack than some strange happening. I can tell you that.
Look, let's take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get back into this conversation.
Yeah, mine at 46. What's wrong with that?
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
It's time to lace up, Bermuda. The annual Lindos to Lindos race is back on Sunday, March 9th. Choose between the competitive 10K run or walk or the 4-mile non-competitive walk in aid of the Bermuda Diabetes Association. This isn't just a race, it's a tradition. These feet are made for walking. So walk with us in support of the Bermuda Diabetes Association. Visit racedayworld.com for more details and sign up. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Digitalis proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, gentlemen. Just earlier this evening, the final spot for the quarterfinals of the FA was won by Nottingham Forest with a penalty shootout over Ipswich. Ipswich took the lead in the second half. Forest equalized and then won 5-4 on those kicks from the penalty mark. Juggler, you were talking about some of the players in that Forest team. Looking at the way they took those penalties tonight, very confident in front of goal.
To be honest with you, Earl, I've been pretty impressed with all the penalty takers. Besides a few saves, but for the most part, these guys are banging them in like.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper's like, ain't nobody getting damn. Just go get the ball out the back of the net.
Yeah.
And for that one went to what? Sudden death? What? Nine kicks?
No. The last penalty for Ipswich was saved.
Oh yeah. The last one, that one, yeah. 5-4, right?
5-4, yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, once you get in these competitions, I'm pretty sure Earl and they practice it. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to, because it happens in these competitions. You would have thought, right?
The one thing you cannot practice for is the loud noise or the quiet noise as you walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot. You can't replicate that in training, mate. Because all eyes are on you to kick up. And you got one person to beat. And until that ball hits that back of the net, you're holding your breath. So I've been through it a few times, and I'm pretty sure Jay is in your time playing good. You've been through it a few times.
I talk a lot of mess. Talk a lot of mess. You walked all the way up here. Kick it to me, boy. Let me say, hey, and but Earl, especially when it's amazing because you have some strikers that can't take a penalty.
Can't take a penalty, because they can't kick a dead ball. See, yeah, they can kick a rolling ball, but they can't kick a dead ball.
But then you have some defenders that ain't used to scoring, so that doesn't.
Yeah. You have to look, and it's almost like, coming up, early in the season, coaches would have like drills to end training, and one of them was always a penalty shootout or free kick shootout and stuff like that. You sort of you're doing it for fun, but you're also looking to see who can handle that pressure as the night goes on. So you have an idea in the back of your mind. Okay, if I get into a penalty shootout, I can rely on this person. I can rely on that person. I can't pick that person, not when it's crunch time. If I'm going to have you take a penalty, it's got to be first or second. Because if you're fifth, mate, no way.
Yeah, it's. I mean, as a good, I always deemed I was going to stop one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was where I stand, because I say that I'm looking at the conditions of the fields, Earl. You had to dig a little hill, a little pitch to put the ball down back there, right? Because that ball got on that spot and it rolled and it rolled.
You get somebody extra paint and put it in spots. Yeah. So definitely. Antoine, the match, Crystal Palace and Millwall.
Yeah.
What was it? In the first 3 minutes, the goalkeeper from Millwall was sent off. What's your thoughts on the tackle?
I didn't. So what was it? Because I didn't see that game. So what was the? Why did he get something?
It was a ball over the top. The Crystal Palace striker was running towards with a defender. He was getting to the ball before the defender. The goalkeeper came running out and jumped up and kicked him in the head or the face.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Right now. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I can't even say that's WWE. That's UFC.
yeah. Today the FA is expected to consider rather to submit a clearly insufficient punishment claim that could result in a longer ban for the goalkeeper following his red card challenge. I mean, when you see the video of it, I mean, when you see pictures of it, his coach was like, okay, it was in the moment. He didn't intend to do that. I'm saying, well, were your foot was you weren't trying to kick the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And the striker is the attacker is not that small. You see what I'm saying? It's a big price.
Yeah. And I mean, reckless. And then remember they also had a sending off after 8 seconds in another game.
Yeah.
I think it was in championship. To get sent off in 8 seconds, Douglas. You gotta that opposing player. You and him have to have some odds going on.
I'm glad you said that because I will automatically go back and look at the last game tape.
Yeah, because you haven't. I mean, the sound of the whistle's still going when you make the challenge.
I was looking for him. I was looking for him in warm up.
It's almost like hockey. When you're warming up and you're skating around in a circle on your side of the half.
His lucky he didn't come to the halfway line and warm up because I would have.
Yeah, it's a brawl before the game starts, and 8 seconds is ridiculous. And unless if that was your intentions and you told your teammates in the change room, the first chance I get, I'm gonna knock Earl's head off. And they say, okay, cool. And if you just decide to go out there and not tell anybody, and you're now got to play 90 plus minutes.
It's selfish. Yes, it is selfish. But at that moment, he did not care about nobody besides him and that guy. That's it.
That's something like what did he say to you when you were coming to the game?
Eventually it will come out. Probably after the same
red card. Talking about red cards. What about Manchester United's red card before? What do you think about that?
That was a red card.
Yeah, because
that was a red card. But that's why
the way the rules read.
Yeah, that was a red
once
card.
he went over the top of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was high up on the thigh. I'm not the thigh, the half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I will say, Earl, you just mentioned that word early in the last situation. It wasn't intentional.
No, that wasn't intentional, but it was
but it was reckless, right?
Yeah.
It was reckless.
I think Patrick is having a bad game that day anyway. He did cause Manchester United to go the first goal. So
and that's when you have a player trying to do, not having a good game.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting in the effort. It's just a half second off. He's trying to get at everything. He knows he's trying to. It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah. And that's the difference between the two, where Keels was unintentional and got sent off, where the other players was clearly intentional.
Anton, I don't want to bring back some bad memories, right? But Vidic. Oh
gosh.
Yeah.
Did he get sent off like 3 years in a row against Liverpool or I want to say it was against Liverpool.
He was leading the red cards for quite a long years. But he was a center back. He had to do what he had to do.
But if you get sent off 3 times against the same team 3 years in a row, that's not doing what you got to do. That's stupidity.
But
Yeah, it's.
You said it was
I,
Liverpool, like, Liverpool and Manchester.
yeah, it was either Liverpool or I believe it was either Liverpool or City. Can't remember which one.
Well, we
He
remember.
he made it a habit to always take an early shower for some reason. You know what? I'm at enough.
I ain't chasing these guys no
Uh,
more.
You guys finish this off.
Well, it was so funny because yesterday a 10-year reminder came up, and Juggler, you remember this one where Cantona two-footed into the crowd.
Hiya, hiya, who?
And it was so funny because I was listening to the back then the commentator, and he was irate, stating that Cantona should never play for Manchester United again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the talk. Wow.
But you understand it, dude.
What was that?
We were talking about it was yesterday was 10 years to the day that Cantona was sent off sent off for two-footing into the crowd.
Into the crowd.
Yeah. Because if we watched now back then, I guess everybody watched it and had an opinion, but watching it 10 years later, Cantona was standing there talking with the referee.
Mm-hmm.
And then he heard somebody say something in the direction of where he went over to the touchline, and then all of a sudden he just exploded.
I'm pretty sure you didn't ask him what bus to catch in. Okay,
no.
So but in saying that, and you go back, you can go back to the Malice in the Palace with basketball. You just don't know.
Yeah.
See, people don't understand these athletes are humans too, right?
Right.
Yeah, they got stuff on their head too, whether it's family, whether it's the relationships, whether it's somebody dying.
Yeah.
And you never know what is a trigger.
That's right.
And we can all say, oh well, how could he? Well, it's easy. Now, I don't know if you guys been paying attention to some of these other sports. That was something that the All-Star weekend for hockey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the All-Star weekend for basketball, there had been a debate about the basketball players not playing hard or whatever through that back. Hockey, they're fighting and this, that, and the other. But then the question comes in, and you mentioned about that kick, right? I understand it because everybody being irate because at the time the league's trying to grow, especially with TV revenue, this, that, and the other. But then you get a sport like hockey, especially in American, because the world hockey is not as bad, but they allow the fighting. Like, yeah, hurry up, get your fight over with, and then we get back at it.
Yeah.
No, it's like sometimes we want to see the car crash. We want to see somebody get beat up.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what draws the eyes. Most people watch NASCAR to watch a crash. They for a crash.
Early and often.
Yes. A 500 lap with nobody crashing is a boring race.
I want my money back.
Right.
Yeah.
So did going forward, do you think obviously it didn't hurt the league, Cantona?
No.
And it didn't hurt the brand like Manchester United either.
Not at all. If anything, it made it stronger.
Yep.
Because he served his day and came right back and he became a hero for the club.
So you know what I'm saying? We could cry about it now, but what difference did it? You know, it like I said, it worked in reverse, if you ask me.
You were saying something, Antoine?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but this society now they love a little foolishness. They love a little action, like you said. You go to a baseball game, you expect to see somebody get hit in the head with a ball. You go to a basketball game, you're waiting for the Palace or another brawl to happen. You're waiting for somebody to knock LeBron James out, so It's just the society these days.
Yeah.
Look, Zidane at World Cup.
Yeah. Turned around and put it.
World Cup.
Right in your chest.
Hold on to this.
Yeah. Fella said something about his mama.
He wasn't asking for directions to the pub, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he wanted to close up look at his haircut.
Hey, Antoine, actually, as a referee, Antoine, what do you think about these changes of the offside and the goalkeeper are looking into?
Well, yeah, I actually have those to bring up, Juggler. The goalkeeper holding the ball for more than 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
Punished with a corner for the opposition beginning this summer. Now, it's funny because in their explanation, they were saying that some referees did not want to penalize the goalkeeper for the 6 seconds because it was an indirect free kick inside the box and so forth.
Right.
And they felt it was a harsh punishment. But now with them getting a corner, it's kind of like a 50-50 position on referees but the referee still has to call out once it's on 5.
Yeah. No, I honestly I never understood it like as well, because like you said, I tell you he is famous, and you don't know he's famous for calling 8 seconds in the BFA league.
Oh yeah.
See Anthony Francis.
but he's doing his job.
He's doing his job, yes. But like you said, it's like a disadvantage because 9 times out of 10 it's happening inside the box, and it's a free kick. It's a disadvantage to the defending team because 9 times out of 10 the defenders are not all rushing back because they're taking fast.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're taking it fast. So you're not got your defenders back there to defend this goal. So it's a disadvantage. It's a very disadvantage. I'm still scratching my head with the corners.
But hold up, Antoine, hold up. But who caused the disadvantage though?
The goalkeeper.
So why are we crying about? Why are we crying about making a disadvantage to the goalkeeper as they caused it?
Yeah, they created it. Yeah.
I don't feel sorry, but I don't feel sorry. But you caused it.
Yeah. And you know the rule from the jump. You know the rule. If you hold the ball for X amount of seconds, you're going to be penalized. You can't cry foul when you're penalized for doing something that you know is against the rules.
But here's the question. And I know Al knows it, but here's the question to everybody. When does the 8 seconds start?
Well, okay, I got you on that. Okay.
Because the goalkeeper he makes a save, yes, and then he punches on top of it. Does that 8 seconds start when he punches on top of it, or does that 8 seconds start when he starts to catch himself and start, goalkeepers start dribbling the ball? Mark was not supposed to dribble the ball, but when does the 8 seconds start? Because the 8 seconds originally start when he drops the ball. When he makes that save and he lands on top of that ball, that's 8 seconds start.
Well, yeah, once he's in control of the ball.
Once he's completely have control of the ball.
Yeah.
8 seconds completely
so if he wants to lay on the ground for 4, he's only got 4 seconds once he gets up. Yeah.
But see, what my thing with that, and it's probably an overreaction, maybe, right? To what now these goalkeepers are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
These goalkeepers will catch a ball, right?
Yeah.
And especially you see it, especially in the second half, right?
Mm-hmm.
So late in the second half, they catch a ball, nobody around them, and then they're gonna fall to the ground and lay on the ball for a minute.
Yeah.
They're actually taught to do that.
Yeah, it's a time-wasting tactic.
But as a referee, we don't look at that. We just think, okay, it's got the ball. We turn our backs and are ready to go up the field because 9 times then the ball's gonna get kicked up the field. So we gotta be ready to get up the field. We don't call it out. You see what I'm saying? A referee got called out for he thinks it's gonna be a short kick, but it's a long kick. So now he's got to throw an ass up the hill. So he
Ain't too many
trying to
long kicks
that.
anymore.
Yeah,
Huh?
but
You ain't got to run back. 'Cause ain't too many long kicks, so you ain't got to run back.
yeah.
True.
So
Not anymore.
so this is where the communication, when we use the professional world, the communication between the referee and the referee assistant comes in, because once the referee starts counting, the referee assistant should hear him counting, and then he could take over the count as well. If you say that the referee turns to run up the field, for that brief second that he is not watching what's going on, the referee assistant becomes the eyes and the ears for him. But it's about that communication. That's all it is.
And Antoine, I think you're absolutely right. They're going to have to have clarity of when it actually starts. And I would agree with you on that. They would have to have clarity when that actual 8 seconds starts.
Yeah, which I believe they will come up with that very soon, of when it starts, when it exactly starts, because they're still, like I said, they just ruled on it on Saturday, and the other one now is the talk of the offside, Juggler, as you was indicating.
Which I've been saying how long, Earl? I even said the last show we was on. Did I say it?
No, they're talking about the whole body's got to be.
Yeah, that's anything that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've argued for a long time. If a guy's arm is in front of the defender, he can't score with his arm. How could he be offside?
Exactly. If I'm leaning, I just need the whole body's got to be here. The whole body's got to be.
Yeah.
The whole body. That's
what it is right now. Whatever body part that he can play the ball with is in an offside position. Is an offside. So he can't play the ball with his hand or arm. That would be considered handball. So that part should be basically.
But you've seen where some incidents have been where the player's arm or his leaning and his elbow or something is in front and they rule it offside. You've seen that.
Yeah. But that's where like I said, that gray area of from one VR person to another VR person to another,
Yeah.
That's where that gray area is too mucky.
Yeah, and to be honest, Juggler, I mean, and we say it all the time. We could all sit in 3 seats watching a game, and we see something different. And the unfortunate thing is that's what you're going to get with VAR, because it's human. I see it one way, you see it another way, he sees it another way. But having 3 people or 2 people doing the VAR at the same time, you stand to have a clearer understanding. Now when it comes out, we've seen some crazy calls that you would say, well, how did they come to that? In what way did they see that? Because we see it differently, and it's just how they interpret the law of which they're looking at it.
Everybody interprets it very differently. I don't know why, but it's anyone look. If it says the ball's in your hand, then that's what it says. The ball's in your hand. There's a handball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like how you would say, you're pregnant or you're not pregnant. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, eventually they'll address that handball issue as well, because talking about what is it, a regular position and a not regular position. The defender has to do so much abnormal things to not allow that ball to hit his hand. He's off balance. He's doing everything that will allow the striker to get around him.
To be honestly, as a referee, I'm gonna tell you straight up. There's a lot of overthinking people up in there. It's plain and simple. To me, it's plain and simple. If the ball hits his hand, see that they literally hit his hand, like he tried to deny a goal scored opportunity or deny a pass to an opponent.
Mm.
And then it's clearly having goals. Like that's they're making Also, I can't remember can't remember what they're called now. But they're reading into the trying
Natural
to
and unnatural positions.
exactly like make it like just make it simple. Make it simple. The ball hits your hand, it's a handball.
Well,
Offside, like it's like let's go back to the old way.
yeah,
Offside. If you're not even in the facility of the ball and you're in an offside position, be offside.
yeah,
When it's back to that. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I, I hear you, Antoine, but it's so funny that just this weekend where a winger went to cross the ball and a defender turned his back and jumped in the air and the ball struck his hand and the referee was so quick to point to the
Mm-hmm.
spot. I'm
Yeah.
saying, but the defender ain't even looking at the ball. He don't
Yep.
even know.
Hit the back of his.
Yes,
Yep.
he's facing his girl. I'm saying, well, there's no intent for him to handle the ball. How in the
That
world would that be a penalty?
of the
Yeah.
law.
Yeah, I'm like, wow,
Like I said, just make it simple. Simple. It's a
yeah,
simple game. Make the law simple. That's
mm,
all it is. It's like you're making it too complicated for the game.
yeah,
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 too complicated. Like you said, offside. Now the full body has to be offside. Like, okay, we're going back, not going forward. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're going back in the day when I was standing next to the post, but Jared's got the ball and crosses over to me, and I'm not even close next to and I score. Oh, no goal because I was offside.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they'll get back around to that too.
Was there also another rule regarding time?
But that's one.
Okay.
That was like in the World Cup when he had like 10 extra minutes at stoppage.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
That didn't work out too pretty good.
yeah,
All right.
that World Cup was crazy. They
Yeah,
were playing
yeah.
they were playing an extra 10 minutes each game when 10 minutes weren't even warranted.
Came on to TV time. That's all I think it came on to.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna pass 9 o'clock and y'all gonna wrestle should be on.
Yeah. And so,
well,
can I ask you one rule, one thing that for some reason I don't know if I grew out of it, but has there been a change in fall throws?
they ignore that now, man.
That's my point.
Yeah, as long as the ball goes behind you, back of your head,
Yeah,
they don't call it.
as much as
I've seen in
yeah, as long
English
as it goes
Premier.
back
I'm
in,
seeing
the ball can drop to your feet. As long as it's in from the came from the back of your head,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like you have to have both of your feet still on the ground.
well,
That
that's
yeah, 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 yeah.
like you don't have a
luckily, yeah.
you don't have
They,
a man.
they've turned a blind eye to that unnatural throw in, but
Yeah.
natural handball.
Like, what am I? What? Nobody saw that.
It's
Yeah.
good, dude.
Well,
Make the game.
let's turn our attention to the our Bermudians overseas. Um, Obviously, it's some concern for the national team where defender Harry Twite remains sidelined due to injury. He sustained probably about a month ago now. He hasn't featured in his team, Loughborough Students FC. And the other problem we have for the national team is that Dale Eve has been an unused substitute for almost a month now. So with this game against Honduras coming up in a matter of 2 weeks, we have two players definitely that haven't been on the pitch in regular play for quite some time. Um,
I will say, Earl. I will say, Earl. And I saw you guys show the other night, but I will say, coming out of the tournament, the Bermuda Invitational Tournament with Pine of Hearts
uh-huh.
and Rhode
Right.
Island,
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed with George Dublin.
Uh,
And not only just George, the pairing of George Dublin and Carpenter. right?
Right.
Something that I think we all can agree on that we've been wanting size down that back line,
Yes.
right? And we haven't had the size in the back line.
Yeah.
Hence how Harry Dwight even got there because we had nobody else, right?
Right.
Will I say will they be up to speed with the fitness? Honduras is probably a little bit too soon for that, right?
Yeah.
But going forward, because
There's a future
remember,
there.
Dante retired.
Yeah.
They basically had to get pulled back in.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at players who are probably not playing, you mentioned, Dwight not playing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also concerned about their leave, and I think that's gonna be a big decision because Jaquil has played well,
Right.
and we didn't see Detroit Bell play in the invitation.
Right.
Or did we? I can't remember if he came on the first game. But Dale hasn't been playing.
Yeah.
So do you play a person who's been playing well locally compared to a person who's not playing at all but is in a professional program?
Yeah, it's a big time decision. Yeah, because Dale has been starting internationally of late, for Bermuda. But now you're in a position where he hasn't been playing.
So tell me, what is the difference? Okay, what's the difference between a Nicky Rouse that doesn't really play with his team, but a Dale Eve a goalkeeper that hasn't played? Because
He's playing a lot more than Dale.
No. I'm just saying. I'm seeing not well. I'm just using the key. But say if we get what's his name? Anyway, I'm gonna go back to Nikki. Nikki hasn't played for XYZ. He comes back and plays for Bermuda. He has a good game. He scores, plays 50 minutes, scores, has a good game. Like, what is the difference between him having a good game and Dale starting and getting back to?
Well, the difference is this: we've never been put in that position for Nikki. Niki's either come off the bench or started. He's never been in a position where he's sat on the bench for a whole month coming into an international game.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to answer that question. I mean, you're not sharp. You're not, because you're not been active. I mean, like I said, you could train all you want, but when you're not playing in the real game situations, your sharpness goes down. It takes you a little while, and mind you, for a goalkeeper, it's not as physical as it would be if you was a player on the field, but it's still that sharpness that is required.
Also, Antoine, I won't compare this too because you're talking about a striker that could probably make numerous mistakes and not be penalized. The team would be penalized, whereas a goalkeeper makes numerous mistakes. It gets attached to the scorecard.
Yeah.
Well. I think we did have a situation like that with Dante Lavrock. Dante Lavrock was coaching. He wasn't really playing. He played for like 1 or 2 games, not even. And then turned around. Now he didn't even play a half, I believe. And then turned around and started for our national squad.
And what happened in that game that he first started?
He was tired. He was done. He was done.
They had to take him off. They had to take him off because he hadn't been playing.
Legs weren't there.
Under to the core, which was was rewarding, but because he hadn't been playing at halftime. He looked like he had played 220 minutes. The sharpness weren't there, the fitness weren't there because he wasn't playing.
Okay. No, I get that. I'm just trying to see. I think I just say all that because Dale, a goalkeeper, yes, a goalkeeper 9 times out of 10, is not very active. He's not on the pitch. He's not getting from goalpost to goalpost. He's going from his goalpost to his goalpost, but he's not going from the whole pitch to the field.
Yeah.
So for him, I'm just saying, I think if Dale was with the good coaching that we have, with the good goalkeeper coach that we have, and his team, I think Dale can, and like you said, Dale is in a professional environment. It's not like he's not training. I still feel that if Dale can come back and play and coach, if he performs in training session well, I believe he can still, you know, be in the starting lineup to be the number one goalkeeper on that day.
Okay,
You
fair
got what
So,
I'm saying?
so I agree with everything you just said, and my advantage to Dale is he's a shot stopper, right?
Mm.
And it'll be the other stuff that I'll probably be more, knocking the ball around using his feet,
Yeah,
passing, different things like that. But as you know, the shot stoppers, some people are just shot stoppers. Period. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
they might have all the other skills, but that's one skill that he does have.
yeah. He'll
All
use
right,
his body to save the ball, stop the
and
ball.
and that's that. It all depends on what the coach is looking for on the day.
Mm,
But
mm,
I will give him the advantage because of that. He's a shot stopper
yeah,
first and foremost.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to see Milan Butterfield back playing. He had a medical emergency about 3 weeks ago where he was taken to hospital, um, but he returned to action this week, starting for
Nice,
Alpha.
nice, nice.
So I was happy to see him back in action. Reserve Jones Smith Jones continues to score for Benfield. They picked up a 2-1 win. They have the likes of Reece Jones Jr., Remy Coddington, and Coolidge Fubler, as well as Riley Robinson and Malachi Henry playing for them, but they weren't in the team this weekend. Reggie Lamb was back in action this week. We know Reggie last week scored in a 1-1 draw. This week his team played to another 1-1 draw, Needham Market to draw him with Chester. Keziah Martin, his team has struggled. Rush Hall Olympic has struggled most of the season, but they had a 1-1 draw with Keziah starting in that game. Billy Clemens started for Felixstowe and Walton United, and they top of the table, and they picked up a 5-2 win over Concord Rangers. And Justin Donovan found him back at the net,
Nice.
helping Brackley Town defeat Darlington, one of his former teams.
Yeah, yeah.
They came from 2-0 down, and when Donovan scored, it made it 3-2, and they won 4-2. So his goal turned out to be the winner. Kane Critchlow and his Cheltenham Fort City team. I chuckle because it's no 2 weekends alike for Kane and his teammates. 1 week they'll win big and Kane will score a hat trick, and the next week he'll dry up and they end up losing. So you never know what you're gonna get. Also, Cole Hall, he scored for Chorley Town as but they went down 3-2 to Leamington FC. Cole has been instrumental in setting up quite a few games for quite a few goals for Chorley over the last 3 weeks. He hadn't scored up until Saturday going, but now he's got himself back on the score sheet and just in time for Bermuda. Hopefully, he can find the net a few times against the opposition coming up. On the other side, we saw things haven't gone well for Sean Goda's Aston Villa women's team ever since he moved to be the strikers coach away from being the interim coach. I think they've only won one game. They've lost, I think, 3 other games. They lost 2-0 to Everton on yesterday. David's Baltimore Blast won big last night, defeating Harrisburg Heat 12-4. And Coach Cooper, he works out with the women's team at QPR as well as the youngsters at QPR, but the women went down 5-0 to Real Bedford. Kenny Thompson was not in the AFC Bournemouth women's squad as they celebrated 2 years unbeaten in the National League with a 3-0 win yesterday. Jasmine Spence scored twice for Newport Pagnell Town women's team. They won a 3-0 match over New Bradwell St. Peter's. It was a derby. The two teams separated by 7 miles. So what a derby day, and what 2 goals for her. Aaliyah Nerlin also scored for Bradford City women in their 3-0 win against Spennymoor. And another goal scorer we had was Ava Frezzoni. She scored the winning goal for AFC Sudbury women's team in their 5-1 victory over Chesham United. Frezzoni scored the second goal, which turned out to be the winner in the big win. Zakari Turner and her River City women's and girls teammates, they secured a 4-0 win against West Bridgeford Colts women. And Nathan Trott was an unused sub for FC Copenhagen as they played to a goalless draw with AAB. So that's quite a few of our overseas players and coaches that are keeping themselves up to date with what's going on within their clubs. So we want to continue to make sure that we give them the coverage that we need. But Juggler, when we look at some of the players who are playing and contributing or are not playing and contributing, and just either injured. We have quite a few other players who are injured as well, with the likes of Luke Robinson, and I know that I can't remember his name right now. But he plays for Lansing. Norrie Scott was not in his team, so he we have quite a few players that are in the national setup that are not playing right now due to injury. So it's an opportunity for some other players to who shined in those matches that we just finished playing, given an opportunity to get into that team. Antoine, any comments on that?
Yeah. I just it's gonna be a lot. Like Jacqueline said earlier, coach is gonna have a lot to think about after this tournament. He has there was a lot of players that he has to now look at, because I would say that was like what a league select team that played in this tournament. So
Yeah.
and they performed. They really did perform. To show that, look, we can be named up. Like, it's not just the professionals, but we can be named as well. Yeah. I see McKee Wells. You're talking about McKee Wells' team. He's got a game in hand, but it's his radar the playoffs.
Yeah, they're in the hunt for the playoffs. Yeah, we'll be talking about that. They play on Wednesday this week, and then they got a game on Saturday. So come Monday, they'll be hopefully breathing down Coventry's neck.
Yeah.
Coventry's made a miraculous comeback, and they put themselves in the hunt for that other spot. So it's going to be interesting that playoff down to the wire.
And so what is still McKee is still on the table? Is he his contract? Is he still on the table, or is he?
Still on the table right now. They haven't.
I don't like that. I really don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know who his agent is, but I don't like that because I don't want to see Huddersfield all over again. You bring he helps the team. He helps the team to get promoted, but then bye bye. Check you later.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Wow.
But like I said, whoever his agent is, needs to give me a call. No, understand that. I hope McKee gets what he deserves.
Sure.
I really hope. As for, he said, Ava's back out. I didn't know that she was back out.
Yeah, she's back out playing. Yeah.
And then Leilani's season don't start till next month.
Yeah.
Ah.
She's in preseason training. Nia Christopher's team is back up and running after having a month or so off. She's not been in the team since they've been back playing 2 weeks now. So
I see the draw that are under 17 girls and boys and under 20 girls, and you know that there's some pretty tough draws. I don't know
Yeah.
what's I don't know what's wrong with Bermuda and Canada, but we're getting a lot of Canada.
Well, when
Not
you make it to those next runs, that's where the big boys are, and
I
you're gonna end
agree,
up with the big boys. So you know,
and that's a question. Like that's a question that the TD, that the DFA has to think about. Like where are we? Where are we? Are we still in the Caribbean region, or are we? And when I say in the Caribbean region, are we with the top levels Trinidad, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, or are we?
we're in the
You know,
CONCACAF region,
I know we're in the CONCACAF region, but
and the unfortunate thing in the CONCACAF region is Mexico, Canada, Haiti, Honduras,
but
Panama.
I want to see how good your history is. Remember, Bermuda was in the region with Mexico and United States and Canada, and that was it.
And they put
Recent,
billions, they put millions of dollars into the program.
Along with millions of people.
People, that's right.
And
it's
Two
like
and
things,
they've hosted the World Cup since then too.
that's right. Two things we can't compete at: people
Yeah.
and money.
So they have resources, fields, you name
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
team with all of that.
yeah.
Same thing that's gonna happen. Every year when the World Cup comes, they come and clean up, and they a lot of the AstroTurf fields in the
Mm-hmm.
United States came about when the World Cup came through there.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
But that's what I believe. I believe it's a good thing
what's
Yeah.
that?
because
What's
we are now playing against these teams, right?
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Progressing
And I
through.
mean, yes, we're going to play Honduras, but guess what? We're going to play Cuba right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. hmm No, like I said, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but
Yeah.
what is our level? Because
We gotta keep going to this level
yes,
until because guess what? We were
The
at
only way you
one
can get better.
level. We
Yep.
were at one level, and then we started to progress past that level, right?
Yeah.
We take our licks at the top level, right? We come back,
yeah,
conquer the lower level again, get back up there, and it take just every time you fall down, you get back up and get up there.
Yeah.
Because
so true.
eventually you get closer.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Yeah.
We need to play against. We need not only just play, and this one thing I noticed with the last tournament too. Not only play, but I think our players also need to see a team that's on a different level from them.
Yeah. Yeah. See it for
On
themselves.
on
See it again
on
off the
and
field.
off the field.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
I think we got a taste of it when we made it to the Gold Cup that year.
Yes.
The training, I travel with the team, and I can tell you the training, like two different teams, Bermuda team and an overseas team. These boys, once they got a taste of it, once they realized what they had to do, training every day, in and out, eating right, in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just show you. Let me just show you what you're talking about, right?
hmm
And when the Bermuda team made the World Cup, the players made a commitment and a sacrifice, and they trained twice a day. They done everything they had to do to qualify for the World Cup. It's the same thing. The time and the effort and the commitment that the players done in order to qualify for that Nations League, the Gold Cup. Sorry, but if you look at it, the long term of that financially for the player it's not there. It just not there for them.
No, it's not. I agree. It's not. It's not.
And that holds us back a lot. I mean, if we had a pot of gold and we were able to provide our athletes with the finances needed to allow them to be full-time athletes, you would see Bermuda in many sports grow because we have that natural talent. But because the others have that financial backing, they're allowed to progress even further than we would ever get to because they have that support. They might not be as talented, but the opportunity is there because of the finances there for them. I had a chat with Daniel Augustus the other day. He's missing out on a tournament right now because he just doesn't have the funding to be in, and he's a professional golfer. He just doesn't have the funding right now to support him to get to that tournament. Again, he misses out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't understand why and I don't know and I'm asking because I don't know and I want to know why do we Bermudians sports have to show in order to get funded? See what I'm saying? Why do we have to perform and show that we are at that level to get that money? Why can't we get that money so we can get to that level?
Because the problem is sports don't matter until you win something.
Until it matters, as you say.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to say this. And I want to say this as well. Do you know how much time, if we perform, say, I'm gonna say stick to football. If Bermuda gets to that level and basically plays like Mexico and United States, United States has that contract with ESPN, correct?
Mm-hmm.
ESPN now comes to Bermuda, show us what Bermuda has, and not just football, but as far as the art. Because I know as far as in when the PGA comes to Bermuda, they don't show just golf. They show everything that's good about Bermuda. And when people want to come to Bermuda, they want to play on all our golf courses, not just Full Royal. You see what I'm saying? Like why can't we do this? It would help. It would help.
Yeah, I hear your frustrations, but it's you you had a lot of layers just now that I feel the frustration. I hear it all the time. Unfortunately, it comes back down to dollars and cents, and we can uh, we're still asking people to give money to a sport, right? And some people just look at it just as a sport, not as a how we could save these young men or young women, or the case may be, or how they can further their life and become a better citizen. No, some people just look at it just as a game, just as a sport, as a and for a lot of people, they just as a recreational sport at that. Right?
I heard that, and I just want to say that a little bit before I finish. Do you remember when Pogba got that big contract?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. What was Aon based in? That contract, Aon, Bermuda, Manchester United,
Yes.
was based in Bermuda. You know
Yeah.
that contract had to come to Bermuda to be finalized, to be checked out before it got back to England.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying the money is hurt. Yes, the money is hurt. Yes, I understand. We gotta, like I said, we gotta prove what we have, what we can get. It's out there, and I honestly,
So I'm gonna ask you the question because me and her, we've had these talks for 20+ years, right? But since you are bringing it up, where would you like to see the money coming from? From the public sector or the private sector?
but why can't it come from Bermuda?
Well, that's right now. It's not it's really coming from either, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
Right?
But, and I can say everybody did enjoy the tournament, the under 17 boys tournament. Everybody enjoyed it. Why can't we have more? And that's a BFA, but that's a BFA problem. I wouldn't say a problem, but that's a BFA situation. Why Bermuda has to always have to that host a tournament that have to go overseas to a Haiti, a Cuba.
Because of our pricing.
Pricing, I just say pricing.
Correct.
Because of our price.
Pricing. So why can't our pricing be lowered a little bit?
Because we're in the
To
middle of
help out.
nowhere. We're in the middle of nowhere, and we've allowed our prices to be the way they are, and we never controlled it back then, and it's where it is now. And
Also standards, Earl. Standards, Earl. Because if you look at 20 plus years ago, and I'm talking about touring teams rather for whatever sport it may be, like even be for netball. I remember netball, right? Touring teams that came many years ago. You know where those players when they came to Bermuda, you know where they stayed? They never stayed right or players' houses.
Yeah.
Local players' houses. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But now if you're talking about hotel, you're talking about per diem food and specialized meals.
Transportation.
I just with the Canadian team that just came through, they had to get ice baths after training sessions too. They're trying to run and go find ice.
I know. I'm Mexico.
It's dollars and cents. It's just we and I say this here because me and her we have mentioned about the other jurisdictions doing lotteries and this, that, and the other to help pay off, setting out any sports, but infrastructure and things like that. Some countries just can't. Well, we just can't afford to say let's take it out of the public purse. Then when you have a social program or somewhere like Sunshine League has to close down, right? When you try to convince the community, well, should we give it to a football team to go play in a tournament or save a social program like that? It's hard. Now we can say, okay, well, the insurance company should pay for it. Okay, well, no, they can pay, but they doesn't have to mean they has to go to football. They might put it to a dance. They might put it to something else. They might do end to end, right?
Yep. Okay.
So you can't tell somebody where they're going to spend their money, and unfortunately, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. That's the reality of it. I would like to say, okay, the insurance companies are here. Okay, well, one time they're here because they're trying to make money.
Yeah.
Not to get away all the money either.
And then they're putting the money where it's a bang for the buck as well. So
yeah.
I
get. I mean, the only way, Antoine, and prior to what you're probably getting at, the only way this is eventually is gonna it could possibly get better, is TV rights. But we're not at the level
consistently
to have our teams on a major network to be shown. That should be the goal. Once we get there, then that extra money will come in. That it will start coming in. Right? Sponsorships and even player sponsors and different things like that, right?
Yeah.
But we're not in that window. We're not on that channel right now. Pardon what I'm saying, but that's to say, okay, even if we want to stick with government, right? Prior to the new national sports policy era, we come through it, right? Prior to the latest one, Antoine, the funding was going down in the past 4 years in the budget.
Yeah, it was.
So how can you forecast going forward when the budget's continuously dropping?
Yeah.
Oh, and your country's in debt. I'm sorry, and we're in debt. So is that? Do you go back to government and say, "Can you give us more?" Okay, well, how is okay? Is it going to be just for this year, or is it going to be? You know it's not going to happen over 5 years. So, are we going to put a Band-Aid on something now and we get a brief relief? We sink some money into the program for this year and next year, but then what happens after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's Yeah, the reality stinks. It really does. And like you said, we need from both. We need private and public.
Yeah.
But it's oof, oof. Like we need more games. Like we're gonna play Honduras. We're not gonna have. Are we gonna have any practice games before then?
Nope. You had your 2 practice games.
That's to be practiced last weekend.
I'll be curious. I don't know if you guys who did Honduras play last weekend?
Can I find? Well, I don't think they would have played because we're in an international break.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell me they're not playing? They're gonna have no practice matches between the time they get to
They'll
us?
probably be playing. They'll probably be playing, but
And I say playing with their.
Hold on. They got a practice match before they play us. That's for sure.
See,
they are playing Guatemala.
Gee.
Well, you know what? You know what? We don't know. We don't know what the DFA is doing. Don't we have to go to Honduras first? Am I correct?
What's that?
We go to Honduras first?
No, Honduras play here first.
Honduras play here first.
Because I would have thought that I would have thought we would have met up with somebody at IMG or in Florida, but I guess we're not.
Yeah, but I say that where are players getting the break to come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that window is a short window.
Yeah. Very short.
Like, yeah. Not even a week.
So yeah, so to a team to release them and then play 2 games within the week and then get back to playing the team. I don't know.
But the good thing, the overseas players will probably get here on Sunday. The ones that play on Saturday will get here on Sunday. Start training Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be careful with them, jet lag and the whole 9 yards. You know, getting them into the right frame of
mind.
Yeah. So,
but the good thing, it was cool like today. They'll be climatized as soon as they land.
Well, we're playing later on in March, so it'll probably be a little warmer.
Yeah. You didn't talk about a couple of weeks. You're not talking about
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing of that.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this evening. We've had some good discussion. You know, we looked at the English, and obviously we'll be back into league play next week Monday, and we'll give another roundup of our overseas players, both male and female, and leading up to the international break. And next week we'll have much more to talk about. So enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back next week with another edition of the EPL and Bermudian Overseas Footballer Show right here on islandstats.com. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.